You've heard the story of the Trojan Horse, right? It's one of the most famous legends ever, a masterpiece of cunning and deception. But here's the question, was it a real, honest-to-goodness piece of military genius? Or is the legend itself the greatest trick of all? Today, we're going to dig in and try to find out.
So let's start with the problem. I want you to imagine you're fighting a war that feels completely, utterly unwinnable. What do? Do you just throw more soldiers at the problem? Or do you get creative? Well, that was the exact situation the ancient Greeks found themselves in.
To really get their solution, we have to rewind the clock. We need to go back to the Trojan War, which, let me tell you, was not some quick and dirty fight. No, this was a brutal, grinding, 10-year-long stalemate.
That's right, 10 full years. I mean, can you even imagine? A whole army just camped outside the walls of Troy, unable to get in. Think about how demoralizing that would be. The exhaustion, the desperation, watching a decade of your life just slip away.
The years just kept dragging on. In year 1, the Greeks showed up full of fight. By year 5, those famous walls of Troy were holding up just fine, basically mocking them. And by year 10, it was a total standstill. There was no end in sight. The whole war had ground to a halt, and they needed a game changer, fast.
And that is when Odysseus steps onto the scene. He was known as the smartest, the most cunning of all the Greek leaders. And he came up with a plan so out there, so totally audacious, that it was either complete madness or absolute genius. Okay, so let's break down this legendary strategy. Step 1, you build a gigantic, hollow wooden horse. Step 2, you pack up your entire army and pretend to give up and sail home. Step 3, you hide your best commandos inside the horse. And the final step, you just wait for the enemy to do the hard work for you and bring your hidden army right inside their own city. Simple, right?
But wait a minute, how on earth do you convince your mortal enemy to haul a giant wooden animal into their fortress? Well, you get clever. You disguise it. The Greeks claimed the horse was a sacred offering to the gods, something to ensure their safe journey home. It was a brilliant bit of psychological warfare.
And the Trojans? They bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. After 10 long years of war, they were desperate to believe it was over. They saw the empty Greek camp, this massive horse, and they figured, we won. So they dragged that gift right through their gates and threw what the legends say was the party of a lifetime.
But that celebration, well, that was their last mistake. Because later that night, as the whole city slept it off, a little hatch opened up in the horse's belly. The Greek soldiers slipped out, silent as ghosts, took out the guards, and threw open the main gates. The rest of the Greek army, who had only been hiding over the horizon, came pouring in. And just like that, the fate of Troy was sealed.
It's an incredible story, right? A tale of pure ingenuity. But now we've got to switch gears. We're going to move from the legend to the investigation. It's time to put on our historian hats and start asking some tougher questions.
And this is the million-dollar question. I mean, for centuries, we've all just kind of accepted this story of a giant wooden horse. But when you really start to look at the historical evidence, a very different picture starts to take shape. Is it possible there's something else going on here?
And here is the big twist. The general consensus among most modern historians is that the Trojan horse, as we know it, probably didn't exist. They believe the horse was most likely a powerful metaphor for something a lot more realistic.
So this slide lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the legend we all know and love, this awesome image of a massive horse filled with soldiers. But on the other side, we've got these really compelling historical theories that suggest the story was actually a kind of code for something else entirely.
So, let's look at theory number 1. The horse was actually a type of siege engine. You know, a massive battering ram on wheels that ancient armies would use to smash down city gates. It's totally possible the Greeks built one and covered it with damp horse hides to protect it from flaming arrows. That could have given it a kind of animal-like look and a name that stuck.
Now, this second theory is even more fascinating if you ask me. The horse was the sacred animal of the god Poseidon. And Poseidon wasn't just the god of the sea. He was also the god of earthquakes, the earth shaker. And here's the kicker. Archaeologists digging at the real-life site of Troy have found evidence of massive destruction consistent with a major earthquake right around the time the war supposedly happened. So the Trojan horse could have been a poetic way of saying an act of God finally broke those impenetrable walls.
So whether it was a clever trick, a powerful new weapon, or a freak natural disaster, one thing is for sure, this story has survived for thousands of years.
But why? What gives it that kind of staying power?
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The story's real power doesn't come from its historical accuracy. It's about what the horse stands for. It's this timeless, powerful idea that cleverness can beat brute force and that even the most impossible obstacles can be overcome by a single brilliant idea.
Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. In the end, what truly conquers and lasts through time? Is it the physical weapon that actually breaks down the wall, or is it the incredible story that we tell about it for generations and generations to come?